Hey everyone, Cynthia from Van Syke Farms. I know it's been a while since I've been on. I've had a lot of things on my plate. My dad taking care of his affairs. Don't worry, he's still alive. He just turned 89. But there's a lot to do. He's got rentals in the city an hour and a half away and keeping his bills paid, which is not easy. And I've got to get taxes ready for him and taxes ready for my farm. That's going to take a while to do. Plus, I'm working part-time right now on an airplane. I think I might have a customer to buy it out of the Netherlands. Actually, he's flying out of Switzerland, but he's Dutch. So, the owner is hoping to get this airplane sold. So there's that. And then here on the farm, I have 2 torn rotator cuffs. I had surgery on the one in the fall of 2018. Then I fell and re-injured it. And I had a really awesome surgeon. The shoulder was torn so badly he didn't think he could fix it in the first place. And he told me if I tore it again he would not be able to fix it. Well, I fell and got trampled and tore it again. And with the other shoulder needing surgery, I'm on some painkillers right now. Last time I was in so much pain, they put me on tramadol, I think it is. And it's an opioid, which I specifically asked not to be put on something like that. I am scared to death of becoming addicted to that, to anything like that. I've seen the newscast and the devastation left behind by people getting addicted to opioids, and I just don't even want to risk it because I think I would be addicted very easily. So the doctor I have right now, she put me on something else. It's an NSAID, but it doesn't cut through all the pain, so I'm dealing with that. Tractors don't run, so I'm dealing with that, and a lot of the work we started last fall or the previous fall when I had my surgery never got finished. So the facilities are actually in worse shape right now than they were before we started because things are torn down and didn't get finished. So there's that. The barn door on the south end is broken loose. That's not good. It's just a mess here. I've got a really nice doe in the barn that kidded, and now I think she's getting pneumonia. So it's like almost 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm going to go out and check on her again and her baby. And it's Sunday morning, so yeah, the vets will be closed. Just all kinds of things. But what I want to address right now is the fact that people are asking, why are lamb prices hitting $5 and $6 a pound right now? And there are several factors that go into it. If you look right here, that 42 pounder is $265. So that's close to $6 a pound, and the 40 pound is about $5 a pound, a little over it. So there are quite a few factors. One has been in the making for quite some time. Basically, it's the proximity of the 2 holidays to each other, Easter and Ramadan. Easter is on the Western calendar, and that's based on a solar calendar, which how many days it takes the Earth to orbit the Sun. We have 12 months in that calendar. The Islamic calendar or lunar calendar also has 12 months, but it's based on how many days it takes the moon to orbit the Earth. And as a result, that calendar, the year is 10 to 11 days shorter than the Western calendar year. And so basically the Islamic holidays run retrograde on our calendar, meaning they move backwards. When I started in goats, raising commercial goats, Ramadan fell late summer, early fall. Now it's falling where Easter's just preceding it by 10 days this year, 9 days next year, and I believe Easter will fall in the middle of Ramadan for the 3 years following. So prices have been going up due to that. I had one guy that likes, he's basically a goat flipper, and criticizing me when I said, oh, goats were going to hit $3 a pound, and he was saying, oh, they're going to hit $3 a pound. Well, they did. This year, I say they're probably going to hit $4 a pound, and they may even go up higher than that. Now, the calendar is one reason, but there are other reasons. Last spring, here in the Midwest, we had a lot of devastating flooding along the Missouri and Mississippi rivers. If you saw the news footage, there was a grain bin, more than one actually, broken open with their grain spilled out, getting rained on and falling into rivers and mud and everything else. The grain bins were full when normally they wouldn't be because of the tariffs that Trump put on China. China quit buying our feed. So these guys, that grain's not insured at that point, and they lost all that. 200,000 cattle. I have no idea how many sheep or goats. But between the floods in one part of the country and drought in another part, hay is gone sky high. So as a result, a lot of people got out of sheep and goats because they could not afford the hay if they had to buy it. Like right now, I had to buy mine. I really can't afford it. I'm one of these people that's going to have to sell down my herd. Probably 50 animals will go. Not because of that issue, because this is my main income, but because of the pain I'm in with my shoulders and back. I simply cannot take care of these animals. So I will be selling down myself quite a bit. So anyway, the weather here in the United States was one reason. But the most devastating is the most recent, and that it happens to be the fires in Australia. They say 500 million animals at the very least are dead. 500 million with a B. They say one species of marsupial has been wiped out that they know of. And they could be wrong, but you know, you just don't know. It might be to the point where that species can't recover if they are found to have any left. But think about this. Australia is as big, if not bigger land-wise than the United States. Think about it if the United States was on fire from coast to coast and border to border. That's basically what they're facing. 12 million sheep are dead. More are going to have to be put down. That's 10% of their herds. And they have flocks and herds of animals out there that are in the thousands, hundreds and thousands. Here in the Midwest, our flocks and herds aren't that big. My herd of goats is less than 100 head, and I'm actually one of the bigger breeders in my little area. I think there's a lady over near Osceola that raises more goats than I do. But most of the goat breeders around here might have 20, 30 head. Out west they'll have more. But 12 million sheep are dead. More dying. They're not out of the woods yet. They're still fighting fires there. Australia is one of our biggest suppliers of goats. 50% of our goats come from Australia and New Zealand every year for the holidays. And I believe they also contribute a significant number of sheep as well. In fact, I do believe we are their #1 customer. Land prices aren't going to be up just this year. They're going to be up for several years. The land will recover. The grass will grow back quick. You know, and they can get their hay growing quick. But those flocks of sheep and those herds of goats are not going to recover overnight. It's going to take several years. Most farmers, myself included, keep back just the females that they want to keep to replace the ones that they lose or they cull. This year, unless an animal is obviously a cull for issues, she's probably not going to be on the boat sent over to the United States for slaughter. She's probably going to be retained to replace the thousands and millions of ewes that have been lost. You know, and when you stop and think about this, in the herds, they lost their ewes, they lost their lambs, they lost their rams. Same thing with the goats. They would have lost their does, the babies, weanlings, the bucks. They would have lost all that. And some of these herds have been in the family for generations, being built up. So, you know, they were closed herds, that kind of thing. They were really good herds. The Australians are really, really excellent at what they do. But this is a lot to come back from. And in my estimation, it's going to take a minimum of 5 years and probably closer to 10 for these flocks and herds to recover. And some never will recover, because some families lost everything they owned. They lost their homes, family pictures, their flocks, their machinery, and even family members, with 25 people dead. It's devastating. Granted, our farmers will benefit, but I would rather not benefit from somebody else's loss like that. You know, it's just unfathomable. I'm close to tears just thinking about it. I can't even imagine going through what Australia's going through right now. So, those of you that want to get into the goat farming and lamb farming, now's a good time to do so, because prices are going to be high for quite a few years. I guess that's all I got to tell you. So I'm going to sign off for now. And I've got to go out and check a sick goat. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and she just kidded. Oh, I think day before yesterday. The baby's about 36 hours old now. And Mom is under the weather. So I want to go out and check on her, so I'll talk to all of you later.